I want to talk about the past year and a half that I have been experiencing intentional nomadic living. So I started this journey in June of 2023. I found this platform, a work trade type of platform, because I wanted to be in nature. I wanted to put myself in spaces that looked like, felt like the environments that I was cultivating for my life. So 2 years ago, September 2022, I was in St. Vincent in the Caribbean, and the school that I was at helped link me to the nomadic living in the States. So over there, I was a student of this nonprofit that was started in Europe. Very problematic, but it was the same type of, I'll say, mission. A European based organization connecting young adults mostly to volunteering opportunities in order to help the community and or learn how to grow food organically. So through that school on the island, I found this platform, WWOOF, WWOOF, Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms or something like that. And it's nationwide, it's international, it's in the States and on most other continents. And so through this work trade platform, you can travel to different farms, ranches, homesteads in order to exchange your work for room and board. I like to explain it as Airbnb, but for organic farms. I started in Michigan in Battle Creek, and then I went to Arroyo Seco in New Mexico, and then I made my way to Notasoga, Alabama. So the beginning of my journey was beautiful when I was in Michigan, doing a lot of weeding, a little garden work, but I also got the chance to build with cob, which is earthwork, earth building, using natural materials from the earth in order to build something. It was great. It was a chance for me to get out on my own, to be in environments that felt natural and accepting, and to cultivate skills, because at this time I wanted to live in community and live off grid. Then from there, I found a beautiful property, a beautiful ski lodge actually in New Mexico, where herbalism and traditional Chinese medicine was a specialty of the host. That was also great because it really introduced me and gave me the exposure to native and indigenous culture. Doing sweat lodges and going to the Pueblo. It was great living in a community with about 8 other adults, young adults, many greenhouses, mountain views, beautiful sunsets and sunrises, just all the works. But that was a lot of cleaning. It wasn't as much learning as I thought it would have been. So I transitioned from there. So my third stop was in Alabama, and it gave me everything that I needed. Yeah, it was good. It was great. It was a lot of more gardening at that part, but it was more so self-guided, me being able to put into practice what I learned when I was on the island living off grid. Now, the downside of all these hosts, not all of them, some of them. My exposure, my experience, my personal experience with WWOOF, there are a lot of hosts who are simply looking for free labor in exchange for little to nothing. So they may not keep up with groceries, their house may not be clean, or their house may be half constructed. Also, boundaries were a big thing, codependency, lack of communication skills. And these were like elders. All the hosts that I was visiting were like 60, 70 plus. So it was really weird to be in a space where I was the elder, so that was a downside, but there was a lot of beautiful experiences, beautiful connections and interactions that I was able to cultivate and experience while I was woofing. So I did 3 hosts in 1 year with some breaks in between going back to my family home. I'm close to the end of that first year. I had got accepted through WWOOF, through this platform, to be a part of the Future Farmers program. So through this program, I received a certificate in applied training in agroecology and grant money at the beginning and at the end of the program, which was great because nobody really understood what I was doing, why I was doing what I was doing, living nomadic, working on these properties with people who I didn't know. People was thinking I was crazy and misdirected, misguided, but I knew it was for a reason. I knew where and how I was being guided, and I knew that it would lead me to an opportunity. And that opportunity was that certificate program where I was literally getting paid to do exactly what I had already been doing for a year. 8-week program of online classes, but while we were taking the classes, we committed to be at a WWOOF host site. That was a whole nother experience. At this point, really, I felt called that it was time for me to end living nomadic in that particular way. But I committed, and I wanted the money at the end of the program, and I wanted to get the certificate, I wanted to gain what I intended to gain by the end of that program. So I stuck with it. During the summer, I think I made 3 different travels to different farm locations because it was like an even more intense experience of people just wanting free labor and not willing or having the capacity to give as much as they were asking for. That was, I don't even want to go into that. It was a lot of challenges throughout the summer. It was very exhausting. And the most frustrating thing was being gaslit basically about the experience. So now we're here, back in New Mexico, where my family is. Just taking this time to regroup, recoup, and rest and reestablish how to move forward. I was doing all that traveling with very little financial resources. I do not steward a vehicle, so I was taking public transportation all across the country, from the East Coast to the West Coast to the Southeast to the Midwest. It was a lot. It's been exhausting, but it's been a beautiful journey. I gained a lot. I learned a lot, and I'm grateful that I went on that journey. It showed me more of what I want. It showed me what I don't want, what I deserve, and what I need, and my boundaries and standards and morals and values. For anybody who is been considering living nomadic or wants to live nomadic, maybe, doing it or want to do it with little to no resources, it is definitely possible. Even outside of this specific platform, there's a lot of different work trade platforms and just a lot of different ways that you can go about being able to move nomadically. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy experiencing and seeing different places. There were a lot of challenges in this journey, but I would do it all over again. I met beautiful souls, people who I still stay in contact with. The journey was just beautiful natural landscapes, reconnecting with nature, aligning with natural cycles, gaining skills and perspectives that you need in order to live in accordance with nature, to live in community, to live off of the land, to live off grid. I gained way more then I sacrifice. So that's my story. That's been the last 2 years for me. And I'm super excited to see where I go from here. Until next time, peace and pleasure, royalty. Ali Nicole, the sacred goddess, is out.